undeniable. Good word. Perfect.
Being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of the Most High, and being assembled together with them, commanded them that they should not depart from Jerusalem, but wait for the promise of the Father, which said he, ye have heard of me. For John truly baptized with water, but ye shall be baptized, but ye shall be baptized with the Holy Spirit for many days hence. When they therefore were came together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Man, they was ready for Rome to fall back then.
Yeah.
Rome was
like
dominating.
We about to get out of here?
But yeah, every time. They was ready for the kingdom way back then. The Lord getting ready to, depart from here, so maybe this is it. Is this our time? We're going to rule now? No. You got to go out there and you got to finish the mission.
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power, but ye shall receive power after that the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witness unto me both in Jerusalem and all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth.
So part of that prophecy hadn't passed yet. Then they were all in that region prophesying and being witnesses of Yahweh. But the uttermost parts hadn't happened yet. We're in the uttermost parts way over here. So that wasn't even the same time frame. So he didn't break their spirit by saying, nah, this ain't it yet. But when I got 200 years, 2,000 years, excuse me, when it was in America, that's when he didn't say that. He just kind of gave them the right answer without breaking their spirit on it. Right. Where they didn't break their faith. So they still kind of moved around and was waiting on it. But then they got martyred. So now we know that that's the time now for that the rest of that prophecy is now being fulfilled. Keep going.
All right. Verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee.
Wait, hold on. Do y'all know who those two men were in white apparel? They're angels, but you know who they represented? Two men that they saw. Those two men in white apparel that we said there? We'll get it. Is it in the gospel where it reveals who those two men were?
Was it an archangel?
No, it was two men of the Lord that was standing. Yeah, the tabernacle.
That's a whole different account. That's the same account. Yeah, that's not the same account. So the account you talking about is when Yahweh Shai transfigured himself?
Right.
Yeah, that was when that was before he got crucified. This is after he's getting ready to go back to the spiritual realm.
So that wasn't the same two.
There's just two angels that happened to be there before they accompanied the Lord.
Okay.
And it's beautiful because you know how like you go to the airport and there's always got to be security right there before you go and before you board the flight. You got the security right there. It's like them angels. It's right there, like it's chariot. We got a chariot ready. They're ready to depart, make it departure. You know what I mean? Like that. That's beautiful how the Lord had it that way.
Still order there.
still, that was order, man.
Speaking about earlier, talking about Joshua, Yahushua being the captain, right? Yeah. Even he saw his army. You have a captain or a high-ranking official is always accompanied by 2 other, 2 or 3 other, military officials of lower rank. So pretty much like that, like a servant.
You don't want them to be wanted on as a captain walking around by himself.
Yeah.
Small shit has to happen, man. That's you.
Yep.
That's those lower, underranked men.
Yep.
Verse 11, which, I'm sorry, again. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven?
Yep.
This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner, as ye have seen him go into heaven. Then returned they unto Jerusalem from the mount called Olivet, which is from Jerusalem a Sabbath day's journey.
You know how long that would take?
Shit, day.
That's a week, right?
A week.
A week to get there. So 9 hours it was a week on foot, of course, away from Jerusalem. So discard what I said earlier about being taken about those men were, but in the transfiguration, those men were Moses and Elijah. Moses was part of the law, Elijah was a prophet. Let me see if there was more on that. Well, that was the part. Could you pull that out right there?
Matthew 24, verse 29. We read.
Because this is now, I will try to break it down a similar situation. And he's going to explain that same moment as the angel mentioned then. Why are you gazing up? The same way he left, the same way he's going to come back. So.
Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming.
But you see how he worded in all the tribulation that will be happening on the earth in that moment also. That's a major difference from that moment when they said, is this the time you're going to restore the kingdom? Well, all of the destruction and all of the tribulation and the hour of temptation and all of those things hadn't come to pass yet.
Yeah, it was so much that had to be done.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fulfillment yet. They was under the first beast at that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't get to live out when the beast would, come back. The Satan would come out of the bottomless pit.
Yep.
The beast, that was
Deadly wound.
He had a deadly wound that got healed. The earth marveled, as it wandered after the beast.
Bastard had blown in Ashdod.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of different things.
Revelation wasn't even out yet, right?
No, when exactly.
Yeah, when John was on the Isle of Patmos, so all of this didn't even happen yet. So it was a long ways to go before the Lord was going to come back.
And what's nice,
falling away.
Yep.
That it tells you in Thessalonians.
Yep, you have to be a falling away first. Because we were that falling away happened because we were deceived. We did deceive us. Now I want to say this is beneficial for your understanding, of course. But if a Christian is somebody that claims to know the Bible, they don't be knowing how to put this together in true understanding. They like a lot of them, they think they're in the kingdom of heaven. Well, when does some of this stuff ever happen? So you can break apart their arguments just by understanding what has taken place and what hasn't yet, and how to line up the prophecy.
A lot of them,
which none of them have prophecy.
A lot of them say
oh, I'm saved. I'm saved already.
In past tense, right?
You know?
Yeah.
You're saved. You know?
They be like, oh, I'm saved from sin. So
You still sin
They don't even know what they're saying.
they just say stuff
Yeah,
that
they
they've
don't
been thrown out.
though? Yeah.
Because think about it, how do you deceive somebody by telling them something to look for something? If they feel, I'm looking, I don't care, I'm looking for the Lord. Okay, well, don't look over here where it could be. Go look over there. You're not going to find it looking in the wrong place. You're not going to find it looking at the wrong time. You can look in the right place, but at the wrong time. They were looking in the right place, but at the wrong time. So, this is just for you guys to understand as you come across people that you're edifying, that these things are beneficial to understand, so you can better edify with it. You got it, bro.
All right, continuing. This is 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming.
Hey, the northern kingdom hadn't even woke up, because where was the northern kingdom at during that time? It was already on this side of the world. Yeah, it was already in the Americas. You know how Shai walked on earth.
It says a man will never mankind grow.
Yep.
That's a
That's it.
Going back to, you know where that's at? The 10 tribes?
second Ezra's 4th.
Right, right. So you know how to connect our people to the main scriptures of the Bible.
13.
You know? Right. So now you know where these people are coming from, but how could they be woken up if they haven't preached to the uttermost parts of the earth, which is whenever mankind, you see how that now ties it all in? So for your edification, being able to put that understanding together in here, you can now articulate where to go and how to explain it to somebody that don't know yet.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
What you said, 13?
40.
30.
Yeah, bro.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory, and he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other.
In the earth.
I got something.
Yeah.
I got an account. Because there's also, because you're speaking about a power of healing and doing miracles, right? Well, like there's a lot of our people, we got family members or people that know us that they know what we're into, and they're not really necessarily talking shit, but they're just sounding like, yeah, I don't know, you know, like, I gotta see, we'll see, right? Well, those are the people that are gonna see things like miracles that are really gonna be convinced, you know? I got an account. This is 1 Kings chapter 17, and I'll start at verse 17. Okay, just to keep it short. This is talking about Elijah. It says, sometime later. I'll start at 16. It says, so she did as Elijah said, and she and Elijah and her family continued to eat for many days. There was always enough flour and olive oil left in the containers, just as the Lord had promised to Elijah. Sometime later, the woman's son became sick. He grew worse and worse, and finally he died. Then said she to Elijah, "O man of God, what have you done to me? Have you come here to point out my sins and kill my son?" But Elijah replied, "Give me your son." And he took the child's body from her arms, carried him up the stairs to the room where he was staying, and laid the body on his bed. Then Elijah cried to the Lord, "O Lord, my power, why have you brought tragedy to this widow who has opened her home to me, causing her son to die?" And he stretched himself
So
out.
he didn't want a bad name,
Exactly.
bad energy around him.
And this woman, she opened her home to him, she probably